Would you please welcome to the stage your host for this evening, Mr. Rich Wilson.
Hello! Hello! Welcome to this fire hazard. We're going to have a good time tonight. Are you well? Give me a cheer if you're from Tunbridge Wells. Most of it. Give me a cheer if you're not. Same people, weirdly. All right. Good. We've got Hilden Borough. Are we in? High Brooms. I can't go. Hey, a few broomheads in the room. You didn't even know you were called that. We've coined that this evening. So welcome to the show. My name is Rich. I am the MC. I am here to look after you, make sure you're all right. I am going to stand a little bit back, just because I don't want to really accidentally teabag the front row. It's quite a cosy. And I'm 50. They are long. So it happens. Young people in the room, you are going to need to strap those up. They are going to drop again. They don't tell you about that bit. They just tell you about the one where your voice gets low, like, can I have a pint of lager, please? And then they tell you later on when you reach middle age, your balls go again. For no evolutionary purpose, really. Just gravity just goes, I ain't got time for this. You're going to have to take these on yourself, lad. And you don't realise they've gone until you're off to the bathroom for the 4th time that night. That's my new favourite thing. Can't have fluid after 2 p.m. anymore. Up all night. You're off to the bathroom, balls dragging on behind you like balloons on a wedding car, and you're just making a right old racket. I thought someone behind me. I'm like, hello? So do wear some supportive underwear, is the message there. What's your name, sir? Chit. Chit?
No, Kit.
Kit. I thought you said chit, like a note. Oh, there's a little chit there. Well, Kit, what do you do?
I work for a video game company.
Video game company. Which one? Do we know it?
Frontier.
Frontier? No. Was that a big one?
Yeah.
Is it? Nice. What do you do for them?
Quality assurance.
Quality assurance? You play the game, basically. You go, yes. Is this all right, this? Well, pass me them Cheetos. I'm going to be here a while. Just iron out some kinks here. Well done. Good, well done. What a bloody job that is, mate. Well done. Are you here with anybody, Kit?
Yeah, my wife and one of our friends.
Hello, mate.
Hey, man.
How are you?
All right, how are you?
Yeah, I'm going to come to you in a minute, wifey. Don't worry about that. I'm a big fan of like symmetry. So I've gone left. Oh, sorry, you're right. I'm going to go left now. Talk to you, and then talk to you in a minute, if that's all right. Wonderful stuff. What's your name?
Tom.
Tom. What do you do?
I'm a DJ.
You're a DJ for a living.
Yeah.
Wait. Well, yeah. You look at their faces there, like, get a proper job, you prick. Yeah. They say, look at me doing this, talking about my ball bag for the first 5 minutes. Actual job. So you're a DJ?
Yeah.
What sort of music are we playing?
Mostly like rock and indie nights.
Rockin' indie nights. Nice, mate. I like that. Like stuff. Were you ever in a band?
Yeah.
Yes, classic. What? With you? What was the name of the band?
Ugly Love.
Ugly Love. Ah, that is a shame. The band name's pivotal. It's important, isn't it? And you just know. It's funny as well, isn't it? When I love music, and growing up, the worst words you can hear from one of your mates are, "Do you come and see my mate's band?" You're like, "No, it's going to be dog shit." Not saying you were, but I'm just saying most of the time you just sort of sit there going and go, ah, and you have to find something positive to say. Go, I really like their jackets. Good jackets, them. Good beer in the pub. What instrument did you play? Singer? Fuck, that's cool, man. I love that. Was he a decent singer? Sometimes. Proper frontman. I like that, yeah. I remember going to see Ian Brown from the Stone Roses for the first and only time at Brixton. And I'd never seen him live before. Are you aware of the Stone Roses, madam? Yeah, it was because you're a bit younger than I am. So that wasn't your era, I imagine. Sort of late 80s, early 90s, sort of indie rock, pop kind of thing. Not really for you.
No, that's fine.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Thanks very much. Carry on. No, that's fine. Carry on. Keep dancing, monkey boy. All right. Yeah, Jester. So we were watching Ian Brown, and none of us, the whole of Brixton Academy at once went, "Oh my God, he sounds shit. Cannot sing. And we're all like, "Oh fuck, right? This is going to be the worst night ever." And then my pills kicked in, and I had the best night of my life. I'm in Tunbridge Wells, and I have gigged in Tunbridge Wells before, so I'm aware. I get into the sort of drug references, a lot of people kind of shut down, you know, not because they haven't done them, it's just they don't want to admit to their neighbours that they've done them. They're like, oh no, I just got the Volvo there, and yeah. Yeah, I've never ever been anywhere near ecstasy. Was it ecstasy? Oh, I've never ever been. Anyway, so right. So as the pills came up, he went into Made of Stone by the Stone Roses. Honestly, I'm still hard from it now. It was like whoosh, incredible scenes. So that's what you need, isn't it? It's not just drugs and music. Why fucking not, eh? What is that? Have a word on your fucking t-shirt. That's mental. I need to take a photo of you. Sorry, this is literally for that. So there's a couple of comedians called Dan Nightingale and Adam Rowe, and they have a massively successful podcast called Have a Word, and you're wearing their t-shirt. That's nuts. Let me take a photo of you. There we are, and then make me look cool. There you go. Yeah, you massive in Tunbridge Wells lads. Just one person all around. Ever seen fucking Have a Word? 10 million downloads. 10 fucking million downloads. It's a shame you're not wearing my shirt for my podcast. But no one really wants. Mine's more of a mental. It's more of a mental health thing. So you don't really want to walk around with that, you know, on your shirt, is it? It's gonna, you know, it's cool. It's cool. I mean, the name of the podcast is called "Insane in the Membrane." I mean, what? Come on, eh? Men talking about their feelings. Insane. It's genius, Kit. Fuck's sake, right? But you don't really want that on a shirt because it's gonna, you know, people go, oh yeah, fucking hell, Cinderella's kicked off, dropped a shoe. You know? It's all going up. Yeah, it's very cosy in here, so that's cool. Oh, well done, man. Smash that, Kit. Smash that. Right then, to you, wifey. Can't keep calling you wifey. What's your name? Hayley. What'd you do, Hayley? You're an accountant. Oh. No, I've got nothing on that. I've got nothing. All I know about accountants is that they're expensive. Yeah. Any accountants in? Yeah. No, you're shaking your head, sir. What do you do? Presentation skills trainer. You blagging little shit. Heats off, Kit. That twat's taking the crown for no job. Fucking hell. What is that? What do you do with that? Just people say, I need to present some things. And you go, all right, well, stand like this, hold it like that. All right, that's 500 quid. Yeah, is it really? Cheap? Fucking hell, you dodgy bastard. I'm in the wrong game. It's all right, Chino's boy, we've got to get you in a minute. Don't worry about it. I saw you sneaking in there. So. Are you with anybody? No. Not you know of? Ah, but do you know what? We're so cosy. We are going to, there's a lot of DNA exchange. It's like COVID never happened. Look at this fucking room. You know. Anyway, most of us are middle-aged. We've all had our jabs, so there we are. Have you had your jabs? Yeah, good. Well, you're going to be fine then. Don't worry about that. Might feel a bit weird for a couple of days, but we'll have but it's going to be fine. Good. Well done. What's your name? Chris. How the fuck did you get into that job? You made it up. You just made it up. 3 years ago, you were lying in your bed. And how the fuck? And everyone went, it's with confidence, isn't it? You're just confident. You go, this is what I do, and you need it in your life. And they go, all right then, how much do I need to pay you? And they go, this much. You go, all right, cool, see you tomorrow. Amazing. Is that it? You fucking twat. Working my arse off up here, trying to make you lot laugh. That dickhead's over there, earning money now. He's just sat. Yeah, you can tell him, give me some notes, are you? You fuck, yeah. Make way, I'm going to teabag him from here. So you're in a... How the fuck did you two get together?
Friends of friends.
Friends of friends. Are you at a party? Their band. You went to see their band? Yeah. Oh, and was it love at first sight? No, definitely not. Oh, that's brutal, that is. Did you fancy the singer first? Is that what it was? Oh. What do you do, Kit? What did you do in the band?
Guitar.
Guitar? Yeah, and you went to guitar. Yeah, I used to drum, but I had to stop because my dad said it sounded like someone pushing his shed down the stairs. Yeah, not a fan of the drumming there. So that's good. And are you married? Yeah. Oh, cool. Yeah, I'm married. Yeah. And what sort of ceremony did you have? Was it a traditional church? Hever Castle. Yeah, fucking now Tunbridge Wells is involved. Look at that. Drugs and music, like whatever. Hever Castle. Oh. Or if they're National Trust members. Whoa! We were there, we went to. Do you remember good to be in Tunbridge Wells. Good to we found your level. Well done, well done. We'll get to you in a minute, don't worry about that. We're going to get the show going. So, this is how it goes. Give me two if you've been to comedy before. No. Give me two if you haven't. Four of you, joyless pricks. Never been out. All right. This is how it goes. We're going to have one act in the first section. Then there's an interval. Then there's another act in the second section. Then there's another interval. Then we have our headline act. And then we all run off into Tunbridge Wells and we bang our penises against the bank windows. And the ladies can watch. What? Well, you can use one of ours. It's fine. There's enough. I realise that is not very progressive. You can bang your vagina against the bank, do you want? What did you say? No, thank you. No, thank you. Well, we'll all find something for all of us to do. Don't worry about that. We're a very progressive bunch. We'll figure it out as we go along. Ecstasy! We'll be banging our knobs against each other if we do ecstasy. Out loud, I said that. Out loud. And I thought that'd be really funny. My brain went, yeah, say that. And you were, that's odd. Yeah. Well done, Tunbridge Wells. That's what. Now I know why you always used to write into points of view. It was always you lot, wasn't it? Miffed of Tunbridge Wells. Right. So we're going to bring on your first act now. Are you ready for your first act? Yeah. She's absolutely first class. I've worked with her many, many times before. Absolutely adore this woman, and I know you're going to love her as well. So please give it up for the wonderful Kate McGann!
Very much. Hi. Are you having a lovely evening so far? Yeah. Thus far. Sorry you had to hear about testicles. You're going to hear about a lot more now. Sorry. I'm Kate McGann. Hello. So it's a bit warm today, isn't it? Blimey. Like, I live in Brighton, and there's this weird phenomenon in Brighton that when it gets to this temperature, all the men in Brighton lose their tops. They just lose them. It's weird. They just disappear. So I thought to counteract this, I'm going to lose the bottom half of my clothing to keep cool. So I'm walking around like a horny Winnie the Pooh. Give me that honey. Cute. We're in. So did anyone else put on any lockdown timber? Yes. Oh, yeah. Very polite hand at the back. I did. Just on your left arm. I put on so much weight during the lockdown. I mean, I've been eating pizza like it's an amuse-bouche. Like, see, I knew you'd get that here. Like a pre-snack. Like pizza, then dinner. Lovely. I'm eating like Henry VIII at the moment. It's ridiculous. I've started drinking mead. I've got gout. I've got 6 wives. It's a nightmare. I'm having a terrible time. So I thought I need to go to the gym. I need to get sort of fit and healthy. So I'm going to the gym. I find it quite stressful going to the gym. No one actually enjoys it. If they say they do, they're lying. So I find it quite stressful. The only thing that's more stressful is having a burrito and trying bum sex for the first time. That's stress. That's stress. That is stress. So, okay, we found the level. Don't talk about bum sex. So, that is not the one. So, I find it stressful because I'm really forgetful. So, whenever I go to the gym, I always forget something, whether it's like my hairbrush or my willpower. Like, not again. Every time. And the other day, I worked out the worst thing to forget, and that was my towel. So I got out of the shower and I was like, how are you going to solve this one, Kate? Fuck. So I was Kate Bushing my way around the changing rooms. It's me, I can't get it, Kate Bush. So, but I wasn't getting dry quick enough. I had places to go, pizza to eat. So I thought, I know what, I'm a genius. I'll go under the hand dryer. Now, we've got these hand dryers at the gym that are quite forceful, the ones that you get at the airport. So I was dry in no time. However, I did feel bad for the other people in the changing room who had to witness my fan noir looking like it was skydiving. Sorry, everyone, sorry. So I don't go to that gym anymore. Weirdly, I'm not allowed back. Strange. Did anyone go on holiday during the Panny D? Did anyone get it away? Yes, another hand. It's the same person. How is this possible? So I went to Gran Canaria. Oh, because I'm secretly an aging gay man. That's my spirit animal. And I love dick. So I went to Gran Canaria and I had a lovely time. But I find it funny when you go on holiday and you say, isn't it weird? This time last week, we were at home. Watching Pointless. Isn't that weird? Isn't it weird? Or like this time next week, we'll be back at home. Now we're sunning ourselves on a beach, sipping a pina colada, Terry. It's so weird, isn't it? Time. But you don't do it with anything else. It's weird. But you don't do it with anything else, do you? You don't go, you get paid and you go shopping in Waitrose. You're wandering up and down the aisles and you think, God, so weird. This time last week, I was crying into a pot noodle. And now look at me, living my best life. Essentials brioche, I think I shall. Nom, nom, nom. Lovely. Or like go on a first date and you're sitting opposite someone and you go, God, it's so weird. This time last week, I had another guy's dick in my mouth. And here we are. It's so strange how it happens, isn't it? What are the chances? So strange. But talking about holidays, one of my favourite holidays that I ever went on was my mum took my brother and I to South Dakota in America, and it was amazing. It was amazing. We had the best time, and we go on these horse ranches, right? You know, these horse ranch, and we went on this like big trek across the Black Hills, and it was amazing. And when we got back to the ranch after the long trek, my mum, who's ridden horses in the past, like she got really into it. She had a hand down by the side. She was chewing tobacco, voting for Trump. She really got into it, right? So, and then we go to get off the horses, and I was only really young, and my brother was young, and she's thinking, I know how to get off a horse. It's really easy. You just take your feet out of the stirrups, hoik your leg over, and slide down, which is fine if you're on an English saddle. If you're on an American saddle, they're slightly different. So I had to look over at my mum, who was currently suspended by the bottom of her bra strap on a horse, because the pummel of the saddle, she'd managed to hook herself on the top of this saddle. So she literally like dangling off of a 6-foot whatever horse. So it took 3 cowboys to remove her from this horse. And I remember her coming over to us, and she was bright red, and she had a bra wire in her hand, and she went, well, kids, you need something to tell your therapist when you get older. She was literally dangling off of a horse. Thanks, Mum, for that memory. I'm really proud of you. Thank you. But growing up, I was really close with my nan. I know, it was pretty cool. She was my best friend. She's so cute. So growing up, but Nan was quite cutting with her sense of humour. So her nickname for me was Sausage Face. Sausage Face. I said to my nan, what is it about my face that makes you think meat-filled intestines? And I went, am I like a Taste the Difference one, like a fancy one? And she went, no, you're like a Richmond because you're all pink and squishy. Thanks, Nanny. One day I was having a really bad day at work, and I called her up, and I said, I'm feeling a bit flat today, if I'm honest, Nan. And she went, well, yes, you do need to lose a bit of weight. Flat, Nanny, not fat. Thanks, now I feel fucking fantastic. She was lovely, bless her. But I do have some good news at Tunbridge Wells. I was single for a long time, but I have been snapped up. Yes. I've got him. There's no escaping. But yeah, I was single for a long time. So we've met. He's a wee bit shorter than me. I mean, he's like teeny tiny little man. I'm quite tall, man-sized, if you will. Thank you for noticing. He's a little bit shorter than me. I mean, like he's bigger than a burrower. Smaller than a hobbit. Likes potatoes. He's got hairy feet. So every time he's walking behind me, I think he's proposing. Like, I do. Oh, yes. No. He's like, I'm just walking along. I'm like, sorry. Yeah. Oh no. So yes, he's lovely. But the way we met in real life, IRL, as the kids say. And the way we met, my friends, my happily married friends, There you go. So smug. Said, Kate, as soon as you stop looking, that is when you'll find it. So I bought some horse blinkers to really knock out those profiteroles. Profiteroles. So when he did chat me up, he had to approach from the front so as not to startle me. Ah! With a flat palm and a sugar cube. Thank you. Very much. And then we did loads of ketamine and got all wibbly wobbly. Yes. He does like to ride me side saddle, which is a bit weird. Bit odd. And always says, why the long face? Terrible. So yeah, it was nice. It was nice. But the other day I was sending him some saucy photos. Saucy, oi, oi. Saucy photos. And they weren't unsolicited. He did ask for them. I mean, he said, how's your day been? Reading between the lines. Like, well, I shall tell you. Boobies. So I was sending some saucy photos, and I've just moved house. I've just moved in next door to a garage. I know, she's doing well for herself. So I took all these photos, and my phone said, would you like to upload your recent photos and show me the smut on my phone to JP Autos? So if you're in the Brighton area and you're in need of an MOT, look up my twin airbags and dodgy clutch. That's 5 stars TripAdvisor. Thank you very much. A lovely time. But no, I've just moved in. I moved in with my best friend, Alan. Real name, not his stage name. I'm going to keep saying it until I get a laugh. Alan. His name is Alan. Who's called Alan nowadays? He's my age. I mean, what's funny is that his twin brother is called Gary. He's like the last one, I think. And then, can you imagine his mum looking at these 2 new beautiful baby boys and going, Alan and Gary. Nailed this. And their older brother's called Neil. Weirdly, I've not done this material in front of him. He'll never know. So he's got this weird fetish, if you will, that he likes to keep the toaster in the cupboard. Does anyone else do this? Probably people in Tunbridge Wells. Of course you do. Or is it with your presentation stuff? Your PowerPoints? Honestly, what is it about the toaster that you need to... Are you ashamed of your toaster? Is that... You just want it away? Organises. Right. So, yeah, you're like in the cupboard. I was doing a gig the other night and somebody said, yeah, and the microwave's away. And I was like, how many cupboards do you have? Like, I don't have that many cupboards in my kitchen. So he hides the toaster in the cupboard, and it's fine. But he puts it in different ones. So every morning I have to wake up and I have to find it. And I got fed up of having raw toast because no one eats that. And I was like, I just can't deal with this anymore. So I thought the final place I put it in was the bath. So I thought it was a genius idea. So now I need a new flatmate. So if anyone's looking for a nice flat in Brighton, it's lovely. So yes, he's lovely, but a terrible person. So I was on dating sites for a long time. I was a repeat offender, if you will. And I was on like Bumble and Tinder and TripAdvisor, all the ones, all of them. But on Bumble, the women have to send the first message, right, and make the first move, which is all well and good, unless you're me. So to Dean, I said, hey, Dean, here is a list of my favourite Deans in no particular order. Dean Kane from Superman. Dean Gaffney from EastEnders. Forrest of Dean. And, of course, you. And he replied, great, want to see my dick? Yes, absolutely. To Gavin, I thought, I know what, Gavin, would you prefer 3 massive testicles or 100 little ones? I guess we'll never know. Never found out, did we? He wasn't the one. And then to one guy, I sent him a message trying to be flirty, and I said, hey there, blue eyes. And he replied, it's glaucoma. Oh. I mean, he was 80, but you have to cast the net wide. This put me off internet dating forever. Forever, this will put me off. I was on Tinder, and there was a guy, and he said he had his picture and his name, Dave, and his age, and then a bit about me, a bio about me. He said, "I'd like to crack an egg in your arse." Go on. "And fuck it until it scrambles." David! I mean, I dread to think what he does with a poached egg. Honestly, he had more red flags than the end of Les Mis. Honestly. But even though, do you hear the people sing? Seriously. It really put me off it. But there were, even though that I have been snapped up and I'm very happy, but there are benefits to being single. My top 3 were as follows. Number 1, the Starfish Position. Yes. This is the ultimate sleeping position and can only be achieved without a partner. Number 2, promiscuity. Need I say more? And 3, my vibrator doesn't try to do me up the bum. Not every night anyway, just special occasions. Christmases and birthdays and things like that. But I'm not very good at sexy talk either, when you're in bed with someone. And I'm like, that's not a time to have a conversation. I'm too busy trying to not have 7 chins at the moment. Holding my stomach in and looking interested. I don't know why this is hard work. I'm multitasking. But I dated someone a few years ago, and he was really into his sexy talk. And one day he said, "How does my cock feel?" I mean, it wasn't as jaunty as that. It was probably a bit, I know I live in Brighton, but it was a bit more breathy. How does my cock feel? And I was trying to think of a really sexy word to describe how it was. I was having a nice time. And I looked him in the eyes, and I was trying to think of a really sexy word. And I went, snug. Well, it fits, doesn't it? But I'll leave you on this. Another way to make someone feel really, really uncomfortable in bed is just as they're about to pop it in. You look them deep in the eyes and you whisper, and it's really important that you whisper, "Welcome." It's great if you would like to Starfish, because they are not going to spend the night. Weirdly. I'm Kate McGann. You're lovely. Thank you.
Kate McGann, everybody! Wonderful way to kick off the show. We're going to have an interval now, so run upstairs, get some air, and get some booze. Please put a lot of money over the bar so that we come back and do another gig. That'd be lovely. Thank you for that. Before we go, give it up once again for Kate McGann. Get a bit.
Ladies and gentlemen, will you please welcome back to the stage your MC for this evening, Mr. Rich Wilson!
Good to see you. Welcome back. Rob's going already. He's had enough. No, I've got one. Thanks, Rob. Cheers, mate. See, we're all making friends. We're going to need to start a WhatsApp group by the end of this. Really? Boo. Boo. Booing friendship. WhatsApp sucks. What are you doing then? Snapchat? You don't do group chats? I think that says more about you than everybody else. I don't see. Oh, yeah, no, you're right. Do you know what though? You are right. Yes, when you get into a group and then you're like, oh, I can't leave, but this is bullshit. I don't care about any of this bollocks. You're chatting shit, bruv. All right? Mute the group. Can you do that? Oh yeah. Ah, shit. I didn't know that. I've got so many fucking messages. Are you in a WhatsApp group, sir? No. Fucking hell. How do you do it? You just say no. No friends. It's just got you, and you haven't even got a proper fucking job. Madam, how do you not? Do you just go, no, I'm not, don't put me in your group?
Yeah, I have to say to my family, like,
Oh, really? Just go, ta-da. Where are you from? That's a wonderful accent. Is that Canada or America? Minnesota. I don't know anything about Minnesota. So, probably shouldn't do the accent, really. That's probably highly offensive. Doesn't sound anything like a Minnesotian. Is there music playing? Is that gone now? Thanks, Paul. What I like is that some of you, because this has been like the first kind of weekend of decent weather, and some of you sporting a very British tan. I love that. You've really rhubarb and custard yourselves, haven't you, some of you? I'm having a look now. My man Simon over there, Jesus Christ, mate. You're going to need a whole bar full of after sun. My word, sir. It's like you went to the sun just to have a wander around. I went, oh, shit, I should have put some cream on. Not put any cream on. How are you doing? You're quite fair. Are you all right with the heat there? Look at that. Just knees are good. Knees are good. No? All right, fuck you. Do what I'm doing, man. What can I say, Kit? Fuck's sake. Well done, Kit. You're a lovely, wonderful bunch, progressive, open-minded, beautiful people. I grew up in Orpington in Kent, and I'm and you know I mean St Mary Cray when I say Orpington. Fine line, and there's a fine line. There's the posh end up by Goddington Park, and then there's the rest. Star Lane, indeed, sir. We're up where? Commodore Road. Are you that's.
No, I know where it is.
Yeah, that's where your car ended up, wasn't it? That it got stolen. I understand, sir. I understand. It's a very, it's a mixed place, isn't it? Not diverse. It's just different people with different things going on. But I'm still mates with some blokes over in that from my old working class life, because I'm middle class now, like many of you. Despite my exotic accent, I am in fact middle class. It's weird because my dad's middle class. So my dad was he was a civil servant. His boss was Gordon Brown. So there's that side of the fence, and then there's my mum, who's just incredibly working class. You know, like she worked at, it was called Tip Top when I was a kid, the big bakery in Orpington. Like she worked there. So they just supplied Kingsmill bread. So that's that. So I was quite sort of in the middle. So like we were working class, but we had knives and forks. You know, spoons as well. We had cake forks. Yeah, with the little bit missing from the side. What the why? Why does that change anything? So when you get fish knives, why? What? Everything's a knife if you really put your mind to it. You know, just need a spoon. And that's why the spork is a wonderful invention, isn't it? The fucking spork, what a wonderful thing. So I've got some mates from my old working class life. Although I will say, I don't remember the last time anyone ever said to me, have you read any good books lately? I never get that question. I always get, what's the best van you've ever hired? Mercedes Sprint, long wheelbase, good van, get you where you need to be. But I've got some mates from my old, and they're not as, they're beautiful men. They're wonderful people. When the zombies come, they're the fellas you're going to stand behind. You know, not like you lot are going to be like trying to understand the zombies. You know. Like, whoa, they're zombies, but they're people too. No, you need the fellas with the tools. You know, get out of the way, dickhead. Bong. You know, they're the fellas, but they're not open-minded. The rest, they're just a bit behind the times. And we meet up every couple of months. We go to this pub that we've always gone to since we were kids. And recently they refurbished the pub. And I got up, I went to go to the toilet, and there's now gender-neutral toilets, which isn't an issue. Who gives a fuck, right? It's just a room where we go to the toilet, right? As long as we're not doing it on each other. I mean, if that's your thing, I'm not here to kink shame. You do you, right? It's up to you. You. Saw a fella the other day dressed as a fox having sex. I was like, how the fuck do you know you're into that? Online, it wasn't in me bins. Like, like, what's all that commotion coming from outside? Wait, do that down your own garden. John? How's the wife and kids? Oh, sorry, Glinda, I didn't see you there. Well, good for you, tuck in. Can't have sex dressed as a fox. I get too hot if I keep my fleece on for too long. Jesus Christ. Having sex dressed as a fox. Anyway, I saw that. Because I've been going to that pub for many, many years, and because it was different, my brain just needed a millisecond just to adjust. And it wasn't like judgmental. It wasn't even like, I sort of stopped because I was still unsure of where I needed to go. Even though it's gender neutral, you can go wherever you like. I just needed a moment. I went, huh, different. That was it. But my mate was with me. And he's, like I say, he's the least progressive out of the bunch. And I think he was with me. I think he thought we were doing gear, which is why he was with me. And I'm like, mate, I'm 50. I can't. If I have a bath that's too hot, I'll lose an afternoon. We've all been there. We go, whoa, that was fucking hot. No, just give me a minute just to. Whoa. No, I think my feet will always be red now. Yeah. I love the laughter of recognition in the room for that. It's brilliant. So he saw the toilet and then he's like, oh, for fuck's sake. I'm like, what's wrong with you now? He went, I'm fucking sick of it, Richie. I'm fucking sick of it, mate. What are you sick of now? What's wrong with you? And trans people, they're fucking everywhere and they're fucking ruining it for the rest of us. I mean, what are you on about? They're not everywhere. 0.6% of the population are trans, mate. But are you telling me that they're all in there? He's livid. He's like, nah, mate. He goes, I've been reading. I went, no, you haven't. Not once, not ever. What are you on about? What have you been reading? He went, well, I've been reading, mate. I've been reading about your trans people, right? And what you don't understand, Richie, right? They change and then they attack you. I went, nah, mate, that's werewolves. That's werewolves. He's like, what did you say? I went, werewolves change and attack you, not fucking trans people. He goes, what do you know about it? I went, listen, I used to be a bus driver, Bromley Garage, mid-90s, right? There was a mechanic called Lynn. Lynn was a trans woman, right? And she used to work she was a mechanic. She used to work in the bus garage, right? Very masculine area to be in. But you know what? No one gave a shit. No one batted an eyelid. It was Lynn. Lynn was a woman. Lynn told me her whole story. It was a fascinating listen. And then she used to go to the toilet and no one gave a shit. She was just Lynn. Go into the toilet. And he went, well, it's fucking weird. I'm not having it, right? And he went in the toilet. So I followed him in. And then I fucked him. Because he's got to learn. Well, he's got to learn, hasn't he? Trans people aren't the issue. Well, that's a story for another time. Right. I love there's a tension there. There's a fucking tension. Because you hear my accent and you go, this is not going to be good at all. Yeah, how dare you, Judge? How dare you? It's very progressive, you see. Right, we're going to move on. We're going to bring on your next act. Are you ready for your next act? What I will say, there's been a little bit of chatter while the acts are on. If you could keep that down to say, I don't know, what do you reckon? Fuck all. That'd be fucking great. Now, I've had the pleasure and the privilege to work with this man many times before. He's absolutely first class. And again, I know you're going to have a great time in his company. So please give it up for the wonderful Joe Bingham!
Oh. Hello, everyone. You lot are all right, ain't it? You lot are all right. A bit like Rich. You're now listening to my accent and thinking this ain't going to be good. It's because I'm from Birmingham. So yeah, it's fair. It's fair. You might have been. It's a shithole first and foremost. We'll get to that. It's on top of that though, the Birmingham accent's been voted the worst accent in the UK. Yeah. Cheers. Well, not many people stick up for me when they hear it coming out of a speaker. In fairness, they did a related poll though where 80% of people said they'd rather have chlamydia than the Birmingham accent. That one felt unnecessary. In fairness, also didn't account for me. The double threat in the streets. You know what I mean? I'm a busy man. For anyone who's not been, fancies visiting, we've got our favourite fun fact about Birmingham, that Birmingham's got more canals than Venice. Yeah, once you leave Birmingham, you realise, like, who gives a shit? You know what I mean? Especially if you've seen Venice, even just a picture of it, you know? You know it doesn't add up. Like, if you're really into canals, fair enough, go to Birmingham, yeah? But if you're into Renaissance art and not getting stabbed, go to Venice. Yeah? It's a no-brainer. The way I see it is, like, Venice is a UNESCO-protected site, so the United Nations protect it. If Birmingham was a bike, you wouldn't buy a lock for it, would you? Just wouldn't. Be a waste of time. If your fella said to you, pack your bags, we're going to Venice for the weekend, you'd be thinking, oh, this relationship's going better than I thought, isn't it? Going to brag about this to the girls in the group chat, 100%. But he says, pack your bags, we're going to Birmingham for the weekend. You pack your fucking bags, big man? I don't know. Grotty place, man. Grotter. I'm proud of where I'm from. I think you have to be. I think you know when it's your shithole. You know what I mean? I'm proud. So by that I mean I'm proud of being from Birmingham. Not necessarily that I'm proud to be British. That feels like a statement that's it holds certain connotations these days, doesn't it? You know what I mean? You know, in America they have like the American flag hanging on their porch and it's very patriotic. Whereas in this country, if you have a neighbour with an England flag hanging out his window, you just assume he mutters racial slurs at the neighbours, don't you? It's true. It makes World Cups really tricky. You don't know who to trust, do you? Yeah. It is hard though. It is hard to say you're proud to be British because I think we've learnt more about the history, ain't it? Like at school, they just taught us about World War II like it was our greatest hits. Yeah, but you go a bit further back and it gets a bit ropey quite quickly, don't it? You know what I mean? Like we did some bad shit, guys. Honestly, there's a book that tells you all about it. It's called The 22 Countries That Britain Never Invaded. It's a catchy title, you'll agree. And you read through this book. And you look at the list of countries, and some of them, like the Vatican City, I'm not having that on our record. You know, that's a technicality. But some of them don't make sense, like Sweden. You know, we never invaded Sweden, you know, and you're thinking, well, it's on the doorstep, ain't it? May as well. If you're going to do a job, do it properly, you know what I mean? But I was just thinking, why didn't we invade Sweden? And I reckon it's because back in the day, the lads didn't have much to do, did they? You know what I mean? I reckon going to a country and just destroying it, that was banter for the lads, you know what I mean? But what's the point in going to Sweden, knocking it all to the ground, when everything there can be put back together in 40 simple steps? It's niche, ain't it? Starting niche. Yeah. So I mean, I live in London now. I moved. That's made certain things tricky. Firstly, like when you sound like me, fair enough. But it means that I started therapy because you know the move's going so well. Yeah. I was talking to my therapist and she said to me, she said, what do you do to have fun? And I said, well, my job is literally telling jokes to people. She said, work doesn't count, think of another answer. And you know when you're on the spot and you can't think of anything, when someone says, have you got any hobbies? And realistically, we're British, ain't it? So all of our hobbies is drinking. But if you list that as a hobby, it suddenly sounds like a problem. So I panicked and I said, I don't know, shagging, maybe? She wasn't happy with that answer either, to be honest. And I was thinking about it. I was thinking, well, shagging's like, you know, it's evolved since I was a kid, it seems. Like, I had to create a sex playlist on Spotify the other week because I figured that was what all the kids, well, not the kids, but what people were doing. You know. This is because it came up in conversation. One of my mates from back home was talking to me the other week, and he said, do you not play music when you're having sex? You would not believe how much sex I had back in the day to Justified by Justin Timberlake. You know, and you're like, no, you're right, I wouldn't believe it. It's a very left field album you've gone for, in fairness. And a whole album, that's bold, isn't it? It's a 47-minute body of work that Justin put together there. I ain't got that kind of stint in me, you know what I mean? I was thinking about it. I reckon I could just about have sex to Cry Me a River off that album. I mean, it'd be perfect if anything, because bang on 3 minutes when I'm done is when Timberland comes in going, the damage is done, so I guess I'll be leaving. It's a good exit strategy, yeah. I've realised I don't really understand dating anymore. Everyone wants to do an activity date these days. Like, oh, I had a girl before say to me, do you want to go cocktail making for a first date? You know, when you're like, can we just go for drinks? I don't want to do a shift at the bar. You know what I mean? It seems excessive, you know. Oh, I miss the good old days where you just used to go to the cinema 2 for 1, Orange Wednesdays. You know what I mean? Sit in a dark room, didn't have to make conversation. Perfect. That was perfect. I had to do that a lot when I was a teenager because my mum wasn't letting me bring anyone back to the house. So, you know, I couldn't tell you how many films I did not watch as a teenager. Couldn't tell you. And I thought I was being smooth, but the man in the ticket office, he definitely knows when you're turning up and he's going, what, 2 13-year-olds for the subtitled Scandinavian drama? Yeah, it's for a school project. It's like, you know, when you're thinking now, like, I don't have to do that anymore, do I? I don't have to go to cinema because you move out, you get Netflix. My mum's not cock-blocking the door policy anymore on the house. You know what I mean? If anything, she's the wingman, 'cause it's her Netflix account I'm using. So it's worked out pretty well. Yeah. My mum's an interesting one when it comes to romance. She tells me she thinks romance is dead because we use the apps and stuff now. You know when you feel like a story would have more weight if I didn't know the story of how she met my dad, which isn't a particularly romantic story. She tells this story. She basically says, so I used to work in this pub every day, and your dad would come in every day as well, which makes sense in hindsight because he was an alcoholic as well. He got a divorce. It's like, yeah, your dad would come in every day, and he'd ask me out every day as well, and I'd always say no because he was horrible. Your dad, horrible. Fair enough. It turns out one day, comes in, I wasn't working, asked my boss where I lived, turned up at my house with a bunch of flowers, couldn't say no then, could I? That's not romantic, Michelle, that's harassment. That's what that is. Not a strong foundation for the relationship, in fairness. And also, I feel like romance is like, it's tricky now. You can't meet people in real life, can you? You know what I mean? Like, if I make eye contact with someone on the tube, they're screaming for help within 0.2 seconds, you know what I mean? And quite rightly, I do agree with her. And I can't get on board with the small talk. I live in East London. I live in Bethnal Green. First and foremost, I feel like I want to speak to trading standards about East London. Not at all what I was expecting when I signed up for East London. Yeah, I was expecting to be moving to the gritty East End that I'd heard all about with its, gangster past, people like the Cray twins and Ian Beale, people like that, you know what I mean? It's nothing like that anymore. It's just full of people that look like me. It's horrible. Horrible. And when it makes you realise, like, I am part of the problem, fair enough, but they were here first, Like, I'm just adding on to it. They still do gangster walking tours on a Saturday in Bethnal Green, so it's really confusing. You'll just see a big bus turn up, and then big burly Cockney men with their wives just stood outside some landmark where something dead hard probably happened like 70 years ago, except now it's a vegan cafe. And the wife's desperate for him to have a nice time, but John can't focus because he didn't know what the fuck a falafel is. It's an interesting place. It is. The people are interested there now. Everyone's a fucking yoga teacher, obviously. Again, I was talking to a girl in the bar, and she said to me after about 10 minutes, she said, I'm picking up a bit of a vibe from this conversation. You could tell she didn't mean romantically, so I was like, oh, pray tell. And she said, no, I'm just getting a bit of a vibe that your chakras aren't quite aligned correctly. It's like, fair play for finding a creative way of calling me a bellend within 10 minutes of meeting me. Kudos for that. And she said, no, it's fine. She said, I do a lot of work with crystals, so I can work with this. I assumed she meant smoking them, the shit that was coming out of her mouth, to be honest. But she said, no, I can do some crystal work, but I need to know what your star sign is, because I can only work with people of a certain star sign, because then our energy is matched. Do you know what your star sign is? And I said, yeah. So, but I'm an Aries, but I don't really believe in any of it. And she went, well, that makes complete sense, because all Aries are skeptics. Fuck. Made her more powerful. It's horrible. But I tried sticking with a romance. I had a horrendous dating experience though after moving to London, the worst of my life. It was did anyone in here have to do lockdown dating? You remember? You just went for a walk and hope for the best. It was a simpler time basically. And I've been talking to this girl online, and we decided that we were going to get some cans and go to the park. Famously where the magic happens. And we did. We went to the park. Had about 3 cans each, and she said, I'll tell you what, this beer's gone straight through me. Really need to go to the toilet. Now, they shut public toilets last year. They stopped congregation while things were shut, you know what I mean? So I said to her, if you need to go home to use the toilet, that's fine, we can pick this up another time. And she said, no, it's all right, I'll go in the bushes. I thought, oh, what a modern woman, fantastic. So she did. She wandered off into the bushes, and that was that. I thought she'll be gone for a bit. About 5 minutes later, she re-emerges from the bushes, and I noticed that she had something in her hand that she didn't have en route to the bushes. Now, I watched a lot of Poirot with my mum when I was a kid, so I'm pretty shit hot on clues, guys, and I was kind of peering, and she had a bag in her hand, is what she had. Yeah, it wasn't a handbag. She'd left that with me, which, considering where I'm from, was very trusting. No, it was a carrier bag that she had in her hand. And this is usually the point in the story where, understandably, people jump ahead a few places, and they go, that is mental. I can't believe a woman had a shit in a carrier bag while you were on a date. That would be arguably less mental than what had actually happened. To paint the picture, the bag was sloshing a bit. Yeah, it appears she'd pissed in a carrier bag. Yeah. So now you find yourself where I was on this day, with questions. Yeah. First question, why? Why have you just created a problem for yourself, if anything, really? Yeah. But I'm British, innit? So I thought, hopefully she'll find a bin, and I'll pretend I didn't notice, because I don't want to make it awkward. But there were no bins, we're in the middle of a park, so she just walked towards me with far too much confidence for the situation that we found ourselves in. Far too much. And just sat back down, just popped this bag next to her, and just cracked open the last can and started chatting. And I wasn't going to bring it up, was I? You know what I mean? But at the same time, you know, when something keeps catching your eye in the peripherals, you know what I mean? Didn't even know we had jellyfish in East London, you know what I mean? It was there. Horrible. And we're chatting, we finished our cans, very civil, and then she said, oh, my friends have messaged me. They're on the other side of the park. They've asked if you want to go meet them for a drink. And I said, no, it's fine. It's not a problem. And we got up, we parted ways. I went one way, she went the other, looking like she'd won a goldfish at the fun fair. Obviously that was that, innit? That was that. I told my mates about it, and they went, fucking hell, you've had a lucky escape there, haven't you? Dodged a bullet. But it was lockdown, innit? So I messaged her like 3 days later. Bit judgy from the back. Yeah, but I messaged her, and she ghosted me, didn't reply. And you know when you're thinking, how the fuck was I the problem in this equation? I didn't piss in a bag, you know what I mean? I didn't piss at all, I held it in like a grown-up, you know what I mean? It just made me think, like, do you reckon like, I was part of some weird social experiment? Like, she went back to her mates on the other side of the park and was like, I'm not doing dating anymore, Sarah, honestly. These men are mental out here these days. I did the piss bag test, like you said, and he didn't say a word, he was unfazed. Swiss or I'm probably going to die alone, that's cool. The other thing that my therapist told me was that I need to find ways to relax. Probably because I told her that story, and she said, well, that ain't fucking working, is it? So try something else. So I figured I'd try yoga. Thought I'd do yoga and give that a go. So I went to a yoga class for the first time. It wasn't a beginner's class, is what I realised as soon as I walked in, and the man leading the class was a white man with dreadlocks. So I figured he'd been doing it a long time, basically. And he's calling out all these different poses, and I didn't really have a fucking clue what was going on. But there was a woman in front of me who looked like she was very good. So I just thought, well, I'll just watch what she's doing and then just do what she's doing, which was a foolproof plan until one of the poses, she had to bend over and look back between her legs, and it just looks like I'm sat behind her staring at her ass. So I didn't go back to yoga. I looked into yoga retreats instead. They're fucking expensive. You know what I mean? I don't think I could relax if I'd spent that much money. Feels counterintuitive, if anything. So what I settled on was I thought I'll go for a massage for the first time. Yeah, as mentioned, I live in East London and had no point of reference on going for a massage. So don't do what I did and go on Google Maps and just search massages near me. Yeah. You're not so much shocked by the results that come up as just disappointed in your neighbours for keeping the businesses afloat, you know what I mean? The first one that came up was a place called Fantasia Spas, and I felt like the name spoke for itself, in fairness. But I looked and it had one review, and that review read, great massage, she looked over 20, 5 stars. Feels a bit ambiguous for me, you know what I mean? So I kept looking. I ended up booking a massage in with the most reputable place that I could find. And by most reputable, I mean it was the first place that had a website. And I booked in for that Friday, and that was that. So Friday comes, I put the address in that's on the website on Google Maps, and I set off. Now, I kind of assumed to just be turning up to like a salon on the high street, but the longer I was following Google Maps, the longer I realised it had been since I'd seen a high street full stop. And I just thought it was kind of Google Maps doing what Google Maps does really well, which is where it says, if you take this route, it will save you 2 minutes on your journey, but you'll never see your friends and family again. So I was just really confidently following it, you know what I mean? And what I ended up turning up to was just another block of flats in East London. But again, I thought, well, I'm here now, innit? So I messaged the guy and I said, I think there might be a problem with the address on the website. And he went, no, just buzz flat 14, mate. So I did, buzzed flat 14, went up, knocked the door. And then this guy answers the door. And at this point, I'd love to explain to you what my first impression was of this man who answered the door. But what I was immediately struck by was just how dark his flat was behind him. Pitch black, like not even a lamp on. Yeah, and I had this sudden thought of, he could murder me in there. And I've paid him for it. It's fucking genius. Fair play. Fair play. If that's what you're into. But again, as mentioned, I'm British, innit? So it felt like it'd be rude to leave at that point. You know? Like I was accusing him of something he'd not had a chance to do yet. You know what I mean? So I went in, stepped into his office, and he said, just carry on through to the studio. Studio was his spare bedroom, so the wrong word to use. And I carried on through to his spare bedroom, and there was incense burning and music playing, and I, I started to feel a bit more comfortable. There was a massage table in there, I should add. He wasn't just going, get on the twin, lad, we'll see to you. And I felt a bit more comfortable. But then he started asking me questions about how do I usually like a massage, and I've never had one before. And for some reason, it felt like it'd be embarrassing to tell him that I'd never had one before. So he's asking me like, oh, do you like them firm or soft? And I'm just kind of like, oh, medium will be fine. And just making the whole situation more and more uncomfortable for no apparent reason. Now, I had a second intrusive thought that cropped up at this point, which is you're in a man's spare bedroom in East London for a massage. Better make it abundantly clear you're not expecting any extras. Yeah. This man had made no illusions as to his preferences at this point, you know what I mean? So, like, what kind of overconfidence in myself is it that this man's took one look at me and gone, well, I wasn't going to, but how can I resist? It's bold, isn't it? It's bold. So I had a plan that I'd make a girlfriend up on the spot and drop her into conversation, all subtle, but the word girlfriend didn't come out my mouth, the word partner did, which now kind of felt like I was trying to leave breadcrumbs that I was hoping this man had desperately pick up. The situation was getting dire, basically, quite quickly, and he said, I'll give you a few minutes, get yourself undressed, get yourself on the table, and we'll sort you out. So he did. He left the room, kind of shirt came off, trousers came off. I got my boxers down to my knees, and then I thought, is it boxers on for a massage or boxers off? Because if it's boxers on and I take them off, I'm going to look like a fucking psychopath, you know what I mean? But I also didn't want to look like a coward. So I was having a bit of a toss-up, and then I thought, I've lost track of time. He said a few minutes. That's a very nondescript amount of time. And it'd look a lot worse if he comes back in and I've got my pants around my ankles in the corner of his bedroom, like the Blair Witch Project. Do you know what I mean? And so I committed. I whipped them off, whipped the boxers off, chucked them on a pile of clothes, and I approached the table. Turns out that's about how long a few minutes is. I was kind of getting on the table. From the sounds of it, a bit how Kate's mum rides a horse, I was kind of dangling off this table as the door goes behind me, and I look over my shoulder as if to say, hello, big boy. And he looked at me as if to say, it was definitely boxers on, mate. You've misread the situation. Massively. And yeah, I went there to relax, and it was the least relaxing hour of my life. It was horrendous. It was. You know, and I kind of look back at it now, and I think it's mental that when I first got there, I was scared this man would murder me, and by the end of it, I was just hoping he would, to be honest. Terrible. But yeah, I've been Joe Bingham. You lot have been all right, man. I'll see you soon. Cheers.
Joe Bingham, everybody! Yes. Love that man's work. Love that man's work. Right, we're going to have another interval, short interval. Let's get some air, and then we'll come back with some more comedy. But before we go, give it once again for Joe Bingham! See you in a bit. Okay, right. We're going to bring on your headline act. Are you ready for your headline act? You've done well to survive the heat and get this far. Don't chat while the acts are on, because you'll fuck it up, not just for you, but for everyone around you. And we can't have that. This guy is absolutely superb. I love him dearly. You're going to have a great time with him. Please give it up for the wonderful Andrew Bird!
Hello. Can we have a big round of applause for Rich Wilson, everyone? Yeah. I love a gig where you can touch the ceiling. That's good, isn't it? So, hello, everyone. What a wonderfully English thing this is, isn't it? Finally, some good weather, and you're like, well, that's enough of that. Let's get in a room with no natural light immediately. Listen to someone tell their dark thoughts. I do have some weird thoughts that I don't think I'm completely in control of. I don't know if you have that. There's one I'm having a lot at the moment. Every time I see an electric car charging, everything in me wants to go over and unplug it. I don't know what that is. Just to see someone come back to the car like, right, off to Birmingham. No, you're fucking not. You're going nowhere. Just haven't got the nerve to do it yet. I'm working my way up. I've already started with my wife's phone, just unplugging it on charge when she's not looking. When she comes back, fully charged, 4%. You know, some of these thoughts, I think I'm right sometimes. You know, like every time I see someone wearing sliders and socks and it starts raining, I think, good. Put some fucking shoes on and have some self-respect. We live in weird times, don't we? People wear socks with sliders and then leather shoes, no socks. The fuck's happening? In the future, they're going to look back at this time and be like, was that one of the side effects of COVID or something? Loss of smell, taste, and all ability to judge footwear. You know, it's weird. It's weird the things you find. It's weird the things you find funny. Like recently, my son had his school photos done. Now, you remember when you had your school photo? When you got it, they just handed it out in a lesson. Now, they send you an email with a link. You've got to go online. You've got to order it. So the photo arrives in the post. Photo arrived. Not only not a photo of our child, but not even from his school. Photo of some random child. Well, who's this? So you know what he did? Framed it, put it on the wall. I don't know why that's funny, but it is. Every time someone comes around our house and they're like, who's that? We're like, fuck it, no idea. No idea. Then my wife said, what happens if he goes missing? I said, my worry, 15 years from now, boiler packs up, ring a plumber. This young apprentice turns up. We're like, oh, mate, look familiar. Walks in the house, there's just a picture of him as a child on the wall. How are we going to explain that? We'll have to tell him we're his real parents. That'll be our only option at that point, won't it? We've got to laugh at bad stuff, though, haven't we? We've had tough times. You know, I don't think we give ourselves enough credit how tough it's been. We've had COVID, got Russia invading the Ukraine. You know, I don't know about you. Every time there's a massive global news story, a little bit of my brain just thinks, God, it's a result for Prince Andrew, isn't it? Oh, come on, he's had it easy, hasn't he? During a sex scandal, he's had a global pandemic and World War III. Oh, he's had it easy. Have you noticed in the last few years, just generally, how much royal news there's been? No coincidence, is it? It's as if they've gone, right, seems the general public want to know about a royal that's had sex with young girls. It's all right, we'll distract. Harry, get married. Yeah, make it someone from another country. Just make it controversial, all right? Leave it with you, big man. Good work. Still want to know stuff. Right, Harry, get her to pop out a baby. Yeah, royal baby, feel-good factor. They lap that shit up. Get on it. Still want to know stuff. Right, we're going to have to go big. Harry, you need to leave the royal family. You heard, leave, right? Don't worry, you'll still get paid. Now, go to America, all right? Do a big interview. I'm talking Oprah. Yeah, go big on this shit. Right, get on it. No, I could trust you. Still want to know stuff. Right. Right, Philip, you have to go, mate. No, not leave. You're going to have to go. If you don't, we'll tell everyone Diana was your idea. Sorry, did you know her? Too soon. She's a candle in the wind. But he settled out of court. Prince Andrew, 12 million. Oh, brilliant. I mean, I don't know if you've ever borrowed money from your mum as an adult. Doesn't feel good, does it? 12 million. He had to settle out of court, didn't he? There's no way Prince Andrew could appear in court. You'll know that if you've seen the Prince Andrew interview on Newsnight. Oh, ain't it one of the funniest things you have ever seen? Comedy gold. Fucking Newsnight should have been on Dave. Watching a man that can't lie, trying to lie, just funny, isn't it? And the fact that he was prepped by experts for that. We all know the funniest bit, gets to the main bit. We all know it, where she says, a young girl you were with in a nightclub described you as sweating profusely. Instead of saying, well, it's a nightclub, people sweat. We'd have all gone with that, wouldn't we? He went for, now, 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 now. Actually, I can't sweat. I've got a medical condition from when I was shot at in the Falklands. You could just sense his whole team of people go, what the fuck was that? Did he just say he can't sweat? It's a medical condition. Right, get on Wikipedia, make that a real thing. Go now. Oh yeah, we've all heard of sweatitis, haven't we? Got back from the Falklands. How was it? No sweat. That's where that comes from. Yeah, it's a military term. Who knew? And then she said, and there's a photo of you with a young girl. And he said, I don't remember that being taken. Don't have to, mate. There's a fucking photo of it. That's how photos work. What, you want a photo of the photo, do you? I know this is Royal Tunbridge Wells, but you're not part of them. Because some of you going, say Jubilee here, mate. This is a bit much. She's getting her own line, isn't she, on the underground, the old Elizabeth line. Prince Charles will tell you there'll be a fucking wait for that. I think they should do some more royal commemorative stuff for the Jubilee. Prince Andrew sweatbands. That would be good, wouldn't it? Come on, we'd all get them. Like, I'm not anti-royal, right? I'm like most English people. I'm firmly in the camp of, you know what I mean? Not bothered. But what annoys me mainly, I think probably most of us, is the way the press portray the royal family to us. It's just patronising, isn't it? The press are like, the royal family, they're just like you. They're just people like you. They're not like us. It's not a bad thing. Let's just accept it. Like, right, they don't do the things we all do. But this proves it. No member of the royal family has ever made a cup of tea with a fork because they can't find a spoon. They're not like us. No, right, another one. No member of the royal family has ever said thank you out loud to a cash point. We've all done that, thank you. Oh, you need another? All right. No member of the royal family has ever cleaned their teeth with an electric toothbrush. Battery run out, just carried on acoustic. Not like us. My wife, she doesn't get the royal family at all. Well, mainly because my wife is from Slovakia, right? Or Slovenia, I don't know. I can't understand a word she says, to be honest. I should ask, I know, but fuck, it's been 17 years. I can't ask now, can I? It's awkward. Fuck, you've all believed that. Relax, it's a joke. It's a joke. It's from Slovakia. Oh, Somalia. Slough. I'm from Slovakia. We got anyone else from overseas apart from the American lady? Is there anyone else from overseas? From Tunbridge. Okay. Okay. I'll stop with the questions then, if that's going to happen. I'll get back to the comedy. I love it though. My wife's from, it's brilliant having a wife from another country. I love it. I love it when she does that thing where she'll talk in her own language and an English word pop out in the middle. You know people from other countries do that. Oh, I love it. She'll be on the phone to her mum, just talking away, fluent Slovakian. They're just from nowhere. She's like, okie dokie. Bloody love it. Yeah, that wasn't Slovakian, by the way. I think you're all aware what that was. That was offensive, that, wasn't it? It's funny what people find offensive, though, isn't it? Like, you know, when men wear shirts like that with that collar button and they don't do it up. Oh, that's fucking offensive, that, isn't it? They just talk to you like everything's normal. That's disgusting, isn't it? Or people that you can't all see, but you know the people who stand talking to you with one foot at a 45-degree angle, like that? What's with these people? Just like that. Oh, yeah, I'm talking to you now, but I'm so purposeful. I'm already planning. I'm walking in that direction. Oh, stand normally, you fucking animal. It's unnerving. But, you know, it's great having a wife from another country. There are some things that make it tricky. Like, She wants our kids to speak Slovakian, right? And I do too, but it's too late now. You've got to do it when they're really young and they just soak it up like a sponge. Now, no chance. They're 8 and 10. Ain't happening. She said this, right? She wants our kids to go to Slovakian school on a Saturday. I fucking laughed in her face when she said that. I said, you've seen what it's like trying to get these pricks to go to normal school on a school day. They ain't going to Slovakian on a Saturday. It's not going to happen. We try to do it. Brutal. They were crying their eyes out every Saturday. Go, why, Daddy? Why have we got to learn Slovakian? And I was like, because when I married someone from another country, I didn't think it through properly. Yeah. Same reason, every time one of her family members die, I have to pay for an airfare for the funeral. Don't judge me. Catholics as well, shitloads of them. By the time they all die out, EasyJet would have seen the best part of 20 grand out of me. Every time one of her family members die, I have to pretend I'm upset for the right reasons. She gets off the phone from her mum like, my granddad's died. And I'm like, why? Why? It's mid-August, it'll be peak prices. Why could he have held on till late September? I wish that was a joke. Anyway, reflect better on me. Don't worry, she's well aware what a prick I am, my wife. She, you know when you've been with someone that long, not only do you know the shit about each other you don't like, you say it so casually. Like my wife, we were watching that film, Don't Look Up. You know the film? Where an asteroid is about to hit Earth, end of the world, right? You see what everyone would do if the world was about to end, right? So it shows this bit where there's just loads of people having sex, just like a mass orgy, group sex. My wife very casually said, yep, that's what I'd be doing. I said, you mean we? And she said, nope. But this is the bit that hurt the most. I said, well, what do you think I'd be doing? She went, don't know, looking for free parking. I mean, it's bang on. I can't argue with it, but stung a bit. I'm not going to lie to you. Oh, God. My wife nearly died recently. Funny story. What happened was... because there's cultural differences, obviously. Like, one of them is in Slovakia, they drink shots of spirits, the way in England we have a cup of tea. That's their answer for everything. They'll have a shot. They offer you a shot, constantly. Shot, you're like 10 in the morning, you nutter. So everything. So my wife, she has a shot. She'll be like, oh, it's just a bit cold. Can't seem to warm up. I'll have a shot. I'm like, try a jumper, you fucking lunatic. What's wrong with you? So I was away gigging, right? I'm away gigging. She's got indigestion. She's like, oh, I'll have a shot of gin. Not like medicine, anything like that. So she's forgot the shot glass in the cupboard. We've been keeping those little silver batteries in there to recycle them. Yeah, you know the ones, the little silver ones, lethal. If you swallow them, they fucking poison you within hours. So she's forgot, filled it up with gin, necked it, mouthful of batteries, panicked, gone, spat them out. Went to the hospital. As a grown adult, she had to be x-rayed for a battery. She had a doctor go over her belly with a little metal detector, like a divorced man on a beach. She said to a medical professional, do you have to do this a lot? And he said, yeah, mainly toddlers. But I was gutted. I wasn't there to humiliate her and make her feel stupid. Luckily, my neighbour took the baton. He picked her up, met her at the hospital, said, all right, been discharged. Oh, what a neighbour. What a neighbour. That's who you want in a crisis, isn't it? Oh, imagine if she died. I'd have to live with that as an adult. As an adult, I'd have to live with that. As a comedian, I'd have to live with that. Imagine the funeral as they lower the coffin. I've got to stop myself saying, put that in the wrong way round. Do you want to take it out? Put it back in again. Well, I've got to rise above that, have I? Not happening. It'd be quite a religious affair, I imagine, at a funeral, being Slovakian, very religious, you know. Is anyone else, like, I'm not anti-religious, I get it, but is anyone else a little bit sick of football players that think they're religious? They're not, are they? Just all that bollocks, walking on the pitch, going, what are you doing? Everything, just on their knees, looking up to the higher power. Do you think when they pray to God, God's like, oh, fucking what now? What? Fucking busy here with starving kids and pandemics and climate change and shit. What? Oh, you got fucking Burnley at home, have you? You want to win? You all want to win. What are you praying to me for? You're on 200 grand a week. You fucking do it. What are they praying for? It's their job. Do your job. No one else does that with their job. Right, just send that email to accounts. Done. Do your job. You know, I didn't have a very religious upbringing where I grew up. I grew up in a small town out in the sticks, middle of nowhere. And it was one of them places, small town, everyone knew each other, proper little pub, right, where everyone went, everyone knew each other. Now, I miss that, right? I miss that drinking, that kind of, like this Sunday drinking. Sunday drinking's the best, isn't it? When someone walks in confidently on a Sunday lunchtime and announces, I'm only having one. Seeing them on a table doing karaoke at 10:30. Oh, what a joy that is, isn't it? Oh, I miss that. I miss it. So I used to drink in this pub when I was a teenager, and it was on a housing estate. So you had to know it was there to go there. So everyone knew each other. Like, you know when you walk in a pub and everyone stares at you like a Western and you feel uncomfortable? That's horrible if you're the one stood there. If you're the one doing the staring, fucking great fun. So it was one of them pubs. Everyone knew each other. The landlord, proper landlord, he used to lend people money to drink in his pub. Late 90s, he'd lend you money to drink in his pub. There'd always be a lock-in, and then he'd get so pissed behind the bar, he'd fall asleep, and you'd have to serve yourself. You'd go behind the bar, pour yourself a drink, and pay with the money he's lent you. He was a fucking visionary. He invented 24-hour drinking, the self-service checkout, and Wonga. What a landlord he was. But this was the late 90s. Now, I don't know if this was normal for the late 90s, if this happened, I don't know. Anyway, this is a true thing. Sounds like I'm making it up. One Sunday in this pub, there was a bungee jump. Pub bungee jump. Don't know if you've ever been at a pub and a crane pulls up in the car park. They go, yeah, bungee jump. I just remember one of the locals saying to the landlord, Roy, I didn't know there was a bungee jump. And he was like, well, put up a poster. I'll never forget his response. He said, Roy, I don't come to the pub to read. I don't argue with that. So there was a bungee jump in the car park, but to make it seem slightly less like jumping towards gravel, they just put down a blue tarpaulin. Like that made it all right. But here's the thing, if you do a bungee jump, normally it's usually over a ravine or over the ocean, or at the very least, in a field. When it's in a pub car park and no one actually does a bungee jump, it's just alcoholics staring at a crane. That's all it was for 2 hours. Everyone going, fuck if I'm doing that, fuck that boy. And then finally, someone got up to do a bungee jump. And this very much sums up where I'm from. A man got up and the landlord's son, Brett, he was DJing. He DJs the disco. He's got his decks outside DJing because, you know, if you're going to jump towards gravel, you want to do it to some late 90s dance. Utah Saints. So the first bloke gets up to do it. He's decided to do commentary. He goes, right, first jumper, local man. He's doing it for a kids' charity. So come on, let's hear your support. Silence. Nothing. And you know that bit, just as people tilt, who's just about to do it, then one lone voice went, jump, you prick. That was it. Jump, you prick. That very much sums up where I'm from. Aggressive and slightly supportive. I actually gave up drinking. Not proud of it. Not proud of it. It's been like 3 years now. I had to give up. I had, because there's a double standard with drinking, for a start. Don't know if you've noticed this. How come when your wife has a glass of wine in the bath, elegant, isn't it? Sophisticated. Tell each other about it. Well, I might have a bath tonight and a glass of white wine. You do it, Tracy. You deserve it. Yeah. I have a can of lager in the shower. I'm not fit to look after my kids. Especially if they're in the shower. So, well done, mate. Just do me out. Yeah, morning. So I had to give up drinking, and it was hard, though. It was hard giving up. It was hard. I grew up drinking, or my family drink, and giving up drinking, in some ways, telling my family was the worst thing. It was like coming out, in a way. I don't mean to be, like, flippant or disrespectful, but in some ways, it was harder. It was harder, because when you come out as not drinking, it's usually while your family are drinking and offering you a drink. When you come out as gay, it's not while your family are in a brothel, balls deep, going, come on, it's your brother's birthday. Don't ruin it. Might be a bit strong, but but I mainly gave up because I've got 2 kids and I just fucking couldn't do the hangovers. Young kids with hangovers, that's awful. Like, can I have some Cocoa Pops? You're fucking all right. It's not their fault, is it? So I had to give up. Oh, so hard. It's so hard. I know it's quite an obvious thing to say, but it's hard having kids. But my wife it's like no one told her that. It's like no one warned her. She's still surprised that it's hard she's like, oh, it's just really hard, isn't it? I'm like, yeah, that's why I didn't want them. Like, I like them now. You know what I mean? They're all right. But it was never my idea. At no point did I say, I tell you what, I am sick of all this free time and disposable income. If only there was a way we could end all that. That was their fucking idea. Now, I'm going to say this, right, because we slag off the modern youth. It's about time someone said this, because you have kids, and no one warned you of this. You have kids, right? This might just be me, 41, got an 8-year-old, 10-year-old. If that's about your generation, this might apply to you. No one warns you. You have kids. You don't get as much help from the grandparents as you thought you would. I thought they'd do most of it. You know what I mean? I thought they'll want them all the time. Sleepovers, weekend, they'll want them. Oh, they fucking don't. They don't. They're like, right, we've had our kids and we're done. One of our kids was a prick. It was you. Not looking after yours. Maybe in some ways, fair enough, maybe my expectations were too high, because my image of a grandparent is based on my nana. My nana was a little Scottish lady, sat in a house, watched telly, didn't move. Sitting duck for free childcare. My mum would dump us there for days on end. My nana would be like, oh, fucking didn't even know you were here. Like, oh, yeah. How do you think you run out of Kit Kats? So I'm going to say this because we slag off the youth of today. It's just acceptable. The modern youth, knife crime, millennials. No one slags off the modern old people. It's about time someone did. It's going to be me. There's a new generation of millennial grandparents. What that is, old people that didn't actually fight in the war, got to live through the 60s, bought their house for £12, voted Brexit, don't recycle, social media savvy, self-absorbed fuckers that have got the nerve. They've got the nerve to enjoy their retirement. Who the hell do they think they are? I can see some older people in here now looking annoyed. Well, you can shut up. This is probably the 4th time you've been out this week. Pissed again. You try getting these arseholes to babysit. Could you have them Thursday? We're desperate. Ooh, can't do Thursday. It's girls' lunch. You're in your 70s. You're not girls. Could you have them Saturday? Not really. Going away for the weekend with our friends. How have you got friends? I haven't got any friends. You should be in a house watching Holly and Phil. Lonely, just grateful for the company. They're not grandparents now, they're just a blood-related WhatsApp group. Having said that, I am grateful for the help with a deposit on our house. Anyway, folks, you've been great fun to talk to. I think this gig's going to be running every month or something now, so keep coming back and supporting it. It's a great room for stand-up, and I hope to talk to you again. Thank you very much. Cheers.
Andrew Bird, everybody! Wow. This has been. Honestly, when you put nights on, you don't know if anyone's going to come. You panic, and then you watch the tickets that are getting sold bit by bit, and then you're like, oh my God, is anyone going to come? And then you fucking came. So well done. Thank you so much. I know it's been a bit hot. We're going to work on that. I believe we can open a door there behind you, Simon. So we're going to do that next time, just to fucking breathe. But well done. So yeah, we're going to do this monthly, but weirdly, I don't understand what's happened, but the next two, there's not going to be one in June, but we've got one on the 10th of July and the 31st of July. I don't understand how we've done that, but there we are. So there's going to be two.
Busy.
Yeah?
You're busy.
I'm a bit of a ledge.
Yeah.
So, is it my fault, is it? Oh, good. Oh yeah, Tunbridge Wells Fringe. When's that starting? Tunbridge Wells Fringe. So it starts tonight? Oh, July. The Tunbridge Wells Fringe. Do you know what? People have been buying me wine all night. I'm fucked. So, God love you, Tunbridge Wells. All the acts you saw tonight, we are all online. So do jump up and say hello. And with that in mind, do buy tickets for the next show. It's going to be, lads, literally nearly finished. Oi! That fucking Charlie will catch up with you, won't it? Nearly got through it, bruv. You nearly got through it. Anyway, all the acts that are on tonight, they're all online. Honestly, we're going to do this as often as it will be once a month. Do come back and support this room because it's been fucking great tonight. You've been amazing. Round of applause for yourselves, please. Round of applause for producer Paul as well. And for my man Neds as well. And then give it up for the acts you saw tonight. First off, you had Kate McGann. You had Joe Bingham. You had Andrew Bird. I've been Rich Wilson. I'll see you again. Good night.